Hello everyone, it's Joseph Dunphy here, and this is your weekly grazing management update on the Dairy Edge. The pasture-based figures for this week: the average farm cover is sitting at 735 kilos of dry matter per hectare, and the growth has bumped up to 40 kilos of dry matter per hectare. The diet currently on pasture-based Ireland is 13 kilos of grass, 4.5 kilos of meal, and 1.5 kilos of silage. Dry matter percentages on first rotation grass is 25% in Johnstown Castle, 22% in Oak Park, 19% in Athenry, and 17% in Moore Park. Second rotation dry matters are coming in largely between 14 and 16% dry matter. Grass growth predictions for the coming week again are expected to be strong, with between 42 and 52 kilos of dry matter per hectare predicted for Irish farms. Average soil temperatures are expected to be between 10 and 11 degrees Celsius. And after a couple of weeks of no rainfall on the forecast, predicted rainfall amounts are expected to be in around 20 to 25 millimetres of rain for the vast majority of the country. Your Grass10 tips for this week: grazing conditions are phenomenal throughout the country at the minute, and grass growth is 20% ahead of the 5-year and 10-year average. So the message is extremely positive, as farmers either are in their second rotation or approaching their second rotation in the next number of days. Average farm cover needs to be maintained above 600 kilos of dry matter per hectare on all farms, or 200 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit throughout April. Therefore, walking the farm every week and measuring grass supply is critical. To begin your second rotation, the first 4 to 5 paddocks must have a cover greater than 1,200 kilos. And if the cover is below this threshold, you're going to need to extend the rotation start date further into April. A proportion of farms, about 10% that we're going to look at in a minute, are currently below average farm cover targets and also growing less pasture as a result. If possible, it's important to mix first rotation and second rotation grass for a couple of days. When we look at the dairy farm cover data for this week from Pasture-Based Ireland, we have roughly in around 10% of farmers that are less than 160 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit on their farms. The mean average farm cover for this group of farmers is an average farm cover of about 500 kilos of dry matter per hectare. This cohort of farmers are growing around 32 at the minute, and their pasture-based demand is 39. And the grass allocation targets for these farms is still only grass by day at the minute. In the next category of farms, between 160 to 220, about 35% of farms are fitting into this at the minute. Their average farm cover is a healthy 682, and the cover per livestock unit for this group is 196. Growth is at 41, and pasture-based demand is at 41, so very, very, very balanced. Grass allocation target for this group is between 15 and 17 kilos of grass, which is full-time at grass. For the third category of farmers, which have greater than 220 kilos of dry matter per livestock unit, this is coming in about 56% of farmers. The average farm cover for this cohort is 794, and the cover per livestock unit is 272. They are growing 43 kilos, and the pasture-based demand is currently 39. The grass allocation target for this group is full-time at grass, 15 to 17 kilos of grass, and also reduced meal being fed. The target also for any remaining Category 2 and Category 3 farmers that are still feeding silage to remove it from the diet, as it's going to have an impact on both yield and protein percentage throughout April. It's important to get up to date with fertiliser application on silage paddocks now as we enter April. Ideally, all silage ground should get cattle slurry, as it is the best way of getting the correct amount of P and K to grow that crop. For paddocks that have got cattle slurry, apply 1.5 bags per acre of a protected urea plus sulphur product along with the cattle slurry to balance crop nutrient requirements. For paddocks that got no slurry, apply 2 bags per acre of a protected urea plus sulphur product and also 2 bags per acre of 0730. If you have no P allowance, you're going to have to look at products such as 19-015 plus sulphur or 29-014 plus sulphur if these paddocks are not receiving any slurry. But in all examples, we want to get slurry to the silage ground. The Grass10 team, along with Clover 150 and our colleagues in the advisory service, are running reseeding events throughout the country during April and May. With the phenomenal grazing conditions at the minute, it's a great opportunity to reseed. Reseeding enables more grass to be grown, especially in the springtime, high quality grass to be eaten, and higher animal performance. Reseeded pastures are also more responsive to nitrogen application in an era with lower nitrogen allowances on farm, and it also enables the incorporation of clover. There's events in Cork, Wexford, Kilkenny, Tipperary, Laois, Westmeath, Limerick, Cork, Monaghan, Sligo and Galway. So make sure to check out on the Grass10 social media channels or in this week's Grass10 newsletter for an event near you. This week's featured farmer is Oisin Gallen from County Donegal. Oisin is milking 90 cows. The cows are on 15 kilos of grass at the minute and 5 kilos of meal. Milk yield is currently 29 litres, fat at 4.62 and protein at 3.4. Has 1 week left on his first grazing rotation. His best 4 paddocks back on the second rotation have between 900 and 1,000 kilos on them at the minute, and he notes cows are milking well that he's back on full-time grass. He plans on reseeding about 15% of the platform when he gets settled into the second rotation, so he's planning on spraying off them at the end of April and incorporating a high tetraploid mix with 2 kilos of white clover included. If you'd like to hear more from the Grass10 team, subscribe to the weekly Grass10 newsletter, which is available on the Grass10 page on the Teagasc public website, and the link to the newsletter is also available in the description of this podcast. We'd also like to thank the sponsors of the Grass10 campaign, AIB, Grassland Agro, Department of Agriculture, FBD and the Farmers Journal. This has been your Grass10 update, and I'll talk to you all next week.